Hello everybody, my name's Adam. I'd like to welcome you to the Eden Audio YouTube channel. Thank you for coming back and visiting us. I really do appreciate it. A big thumbs up. It's great to see you again. Yesterday here at Eden Audio we received another box, and inside the box was a pair of loudspeakers from a British manufacturer called Ophidian Audio. Ophidian who? You may well be asking yourself. Ophidian Audio are a relatively new brand to the hi-fi loudspeaker scene. Now this is a very competitive and saturated area of the audio market. Ophidian Audio would have to compete with names that have been around for years and years and years. Names that have been in people's homes, names that people are very familiar with. So it is quite a difficult task to get your brand of loudspeaker out there and people listening to them. But a number of years ago, let's go back a few years, when I was back in Spain actually, and I was contacted by Mr. Gareth James. Now Gareth James is the designer and creator of Ophidian Audio, and he contacted me while I was in Spain and asked if I would like to try out his loudspeakers. Now I'm always a person that likes a challenge, to take on a brand that's not so well known. So I said to Gareth, yes please, can you send me down some of your loudspeakers? I really would like to give them a try. I don't really want something that's mass produced that everybody buys. I wanted something that someone had put their heart and soul into. Someone that really loved music. Someone that loved the product that they were designing. Now, when I took on the Ophidian Audio brand, I think there was only one other dealer in the UK that was actually selling them before I was. So I was one of the original dealers to deal in the Ophidian Audio brand. So really it was quite a challenge. So as I say, I put in an order with Ophidian Audio with Gareth, and he sent me down some of his loudspeakers. The first ones he sent me were the Mambo and the Minimo. Now the Minimo is a tiny little bookshelf speaker. It's so small, this loudspeaker, that you can fit it in the palm of your hand. And you'd look at it and you'd think, my, what kind of sound is this thing going to make? It's absolutely tiny. It's not going to make hardly any kind of sound at all. But wire it up like I did, and I was speechless when I first heard this loudspeaker, because I couldn't believe the sound that this diminutive little speaker was making. It just didn't add up. The sound was absolutely ginormous. It was incredible. It produced lovely, deep, rich bass. It sounded natural, mature. It was a speaker you could listen to without feeling any type of fatigue whatsoever. It really was a lovely little speaker. And from that first instance of listening to that speaker, I knew that I was listening to something a little bit special, because sometimes you hear a product and it's, yeah, that's okay, but it hasn't got that, that something that connects to you. And the Ophidian Audio Minimo did. As I say, when I first heard it, to me, I was listening to something that was a little bit special, and I felt this brand had a future. So let's forward on in time, and as I say, yesterday arrived the new P1. Now this is the Evolution model, because there was a P1 before it, but Gareth refined and changed the design slightly. So now we're on to the P1 Evolution. Now when you first take these out of the box, when I first set eyes on them, they reminded me of the classic Bowers and Wilkins of a few years ago, the 602. I mean, they're not sonically the same. I mean, they're miles apart sonically, because the 602 is a budget loudspeaker, where the Prophet P1's a high-end monitor. But when you look at them, the size of them is very similar. So you're not getting a small little bookshelf speaker here. You're getting a quite substantial sized loudspeaker. Now, the speakers themselves, they look British. You would... They've got that typical British look about them. But when you look at that silver mid-bass unit, you know that there's a wolf here in sheep clothing. There's going to be something really special hiding in these speakers. So let's have a look at the few features of which the new Prophet P1 Evolution contains. It contains a 180mm aluminium mid-bass unit with a large magnet, a low-loss rubber surround and copper-clad voice coil. There's a plywood cabinet construction with Aeroflex port system, 25mm thick isolated floating front baffle, optimised crossover using Mundorf components. There's a 27mm fabric tweeter with a lightweight Sonolex coated diaphragm. And something to bear in mind is that the sensitivity is actually on the low side at 86 decibel. And you've got two choices of finishes at the moment. You've got oak, like which I've got here, or they are also available in a walnut finish. So as I mentioned in that sensitivity, it's on the low side at 86, so you're going to need some quite serious amplification to drive these speakers and for them to sound their best. So there is a quick introduction of the Ophidian Audio Prophet P1. These are spectacular loudspeakers. They look the part. The fit and finish on them is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be running them in, so in a few days' time you can have a little listen to them to see how they sound. I'm sure you will find, just like the rest of the Ophidian audio range, that these are absolutely top-notch, excellent sounding loudspeakers. So I hope you enjoyed that, a brief introduction to these new speakers. I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Thank you. Bye now.